Investors and gurus are getting quiet. Your social media influencers are not posting as much. Why? Because it's getting skinny outside. Now, as far as the thumbnail or anything else or anything I post in this video or say that may come out, I'm not necessarily saying don't listen to anyone. What I'm saying is be very aware during these times. Recently, I went to the gym, okay? Went to the gym and to go get my workout in. I walked in there and this young lady, she said, hey, come here. And I get that a lot. And they say, hey, aren't you the guy from Instagram that talk about the houses? And, you know, I'm like, yeah. So she asked me, you're the guy from social media, right? I said, yeah, that's me. And she said, do you know XYZ? In my mind, I'm thinking like, oh, he owed this lady some money. I said, I don't know him. I follow him. And she said, oh, I seen that he followed you back. I didn't know if y'all knew each other. I said, nah, I don't know that guy. She then said, well, he owes me a lot of money. I told her he owes a lot of people a lot of money. And then I went in and said, hey, it was a guy on social media trying to get a group of people together so that they can do a class action suit against this guy because he owes so many people so much money. I said, hey, listen, I'm gonna see if I can find the guy's post and I'll send it to you. She gave me her gram. I was able to find the post while I was in the gym. And for me finding the post, I sent it to her and said, hey, reach out to this guy. And she told me, she said, hey, I didn't want to ask how much money. I didn't want to make the hole bigger, you know, because I just learned when you ask people questions, they want to get you involved and maybe start even asking you borrow money. That probably wasn't going to happen in this case, but I just make it a habit as if it ain't my business, nah, bruh, stay out of that. You know, I learned in my 20s the hard way, you know. My parents told me, but I had to learn the hard way as well. So it ain't my business, man, so I ain't see how much money this person owed her. But I did keep it real with her during that conversation. I said, hey, this guy had 3 Lamborghini cars. Them Lamborghinis wasn't free. And she said, yeah, I know. You know, sometimes people get caught up in the flash and thinking, oh, this person may got it. But I'm going to tell you right now, exotic car, all right? Exotic car equals exotic car note. So be very careful with dealing with people based on material items and things of that nature. Okay? End up seeing her in the gym. She said, yeah, I talked to the guy you sent me. I'm not even going to hire an attorney for my amount because he owes people millions. So it's a chance I'll spend more in legal fees than I will get back. And it's not even for sure that I get anything back. I said, yeah, that sounds about right. So that's the reality when you give out money. You know, you may spend more in legal fees than what's actually out there. So be extremely careful about that. This is going on throughout the whole social media. A lot of these guys are involved in lawsuits, went into hiding, deleted pages because they just were no good. And now that, you know, the market has shifted, all right, we're in the buyer's market, whether they want to admit it or not, we see who didn't have on pants, all right? So, you know, everybody's genius in a good market, but when that market shifts, how smart are you? Let's talk about what's working today. New construction and first-time home buyer price points are flying off, okay? Because it's still a shortage of housing. However, that first-time home buyer price point though, listen, that first-time home buyer price point, those people always buy no matter the market cycle. So what you should do or what you want to do is you want to, if you're going to do new construction, I recommend you building that. Now, of course, the higher price points are stuff still selling, yes, but I just think that first time home buyer price points, things are still flying off. And you must be willing to offer closing costs and things of that nature. Number 2 strategy that's still working, wholesaling. Now, if you're in a major city, listen, you're going to have to go nationwide or statewide. It is what it is. You got to learn some new skills. Just wholesaling locally is not it right now, okay? You got to go nationwide and statewide, and you have to just learn some new wholesaling skills because right now it's skinny outside, all right? Just trying to look for deals in your market is probably not going to be scalable how it once was. So I strongly recommend you looking into nationwide wholesaling and statewide wholesaling. Okay. Yeah, I currently have 2 deals in escrow right now that are in places I never been to and never desired to go to. All right. 3 hours away from me. All right. So, but you're going to do nationwide and wholesale. I'm working on a deal in Missouri right now. You know, if you still want those quick hits of making 5, 10, 15, 30K a month, you might want to look into nationwide and statewide wholesaling. Another thing, what still works, creative financing. Home sellers can't sell the house. So what does that mean? The house is sitting on the market. So being that they can't sell the house and the house is sitting on the market, like, listen, you can go to them and say, hey, listen, what if I give you $10,000 down, okay? And then pay you X amount a month or take over your payments. It can be owner financing or subject to investing. 2 different things, but you get what I'm saying. Like, subject to investing is somebody losing their house and you saying, hey, listen, before you lose the house, what if I can catch up all the payments, put some money in your pocket, and then I take over the property from there? Those techniques still work, especially now that it's in a down market. You'll find that more people are open to it. So, you know, listen, man, these are strategies that I think are still working. Fix and flip, you better be careful with that one because it's a buyer's market and buyers are choosing new or than fix and flip. You know, does fix and flip still work? Absolutely, it still works. You can still make money, but you better have your numbers dialed in and your contractors set up right, because if those contractors screw you, they will take a great deal to hell and you'll be losing money. In the meantime, check out this video next to me, man, in reference to what you never should do in real estate. I'm Nasa, aka the real estate guru. I'm not a guru, I'm a duru because I actually do this business. Peace.